In this video, we will explain absolutely everything you need to know to travel to Vienna, the imperial capital of Austria and the city of music. This is the definitive guide and the most complete video you will watch today about the metropolis, where the elegance of palaces meets the culture of historic cafes, the place where the music of Mozart and Beethoven echoes through charming streets, and where you can taste the true chocolate cake famous worldwide. We will cover everything from the logistics of how to leave the airport easily and cheaply, how to avoid the crowds in the imperial palaces, and what is the secret to enjoying the city using the impeccable electric tram system. We will also tell you about the vital requirement of travel insurance for Europe and where to eat the true and gigantic breaded veal cutlet. So let us get started. Vienna is a city of sophistication and great history. It manages to be at the same time a world capital of culture and art and one of the cities with the best quality of life on the planet. It is an extremely safe, clean, polite destination with a monumental architecture that impresses at every corner. Now let us move on to logistics and planning. What is the best time to visit Vienna? The best time is spring and autumn, especially the months of May, June, September, and October. In these months, the days are long, the palace gardens are blooming, or with golden autumn leaves, and the temperature is super pleasant for walking all day. Summer in July and August is hot, reaching 95 degrees Fahrenheit, and the city comes alive with outdoor festivals. The squares are full, but hotels get more expensive and attractions get very crowded with tourists from all over the world. Winter is very cold and gray, but if you go in December, the city transforms with the incredible Christmas markets scattered around the main squares, which are wonderful, full of lights, choirs, and mulled wine. And how many days to stay? Many people make the mistake of passing quickly through Vienna on a rushed itinerary. To see the basics of the city, the historic center, and one of the palaces, 3 full days are enough. But to feel the energy of local neighborhoods, go to an opera and take an incredible day trip to neighboring cities like Bratislava. The ideal is 4 to 5 full days. Now let us talk about transportation and how to get around. To arrive, you will land at Vienna International Airport. To leave the airport, the best and cheapest option is to take the urban train line S7, which takes about 25 minutes to the center. There is also the express train, which is faster and takes 16 minutes but costs 3 times the price. An app car costs about $45. To get around the city, the public transportation system is perfect. You will use the subway trains and traditional red electric trams for everything. The golden tip is to buy the transportation ticket for 24, 48, or 72 hours, which gives you unlimited travel and makes life much easier. Validate the ticket the first time you use it. Do not rent a car to stay inside Vienna. Traffic in the central region is restricted, and parking lots are a real fortune. Staying in a good region will define the style of your trip. The first option and the most practical is the historic center called District 1. You are a few steps from the cathedral, classic architecture, and great restaurants. It is the most expensive area, but you do almost everything walking through the most beautiful region of the city. The second option is the Neubau neighborhood District 7. It is the coolest and youngest neighborhood full of independent shops, art galleries, and modern cafes. It is located just behind the museum quarter and has slightly more affordable prices. The third option is the Leopoldstadt neighborhood District 2. It is across the Danube River Canal and houses the city's famous amusement park. It is a very green region, excellent for families with children and with great new hotels. The fourth option is the Wieden neighborhood District 4. It is a very elegant residential area close to the majestic St. Charles Church and full of restaurants frequented only by locals. We created this personalized map that explains exactly which is the best region to stay. Staying in the historic center or the Neubau neighborhood, you cannot go wrong. We will leave here on the screen code and in the video description the link to this exclusive map. We created them on the hotel site we always use, as it always has the best prices and reliable options. We will also leave links to the hotels we have already stayed at and approved. In all destinations, we always recommend one that is very cheap and super well located for those who want to save money, and another that is a little better in the same location but a little more expensive with more comfort. These are great options tested by us. An important tip to save on accommodation is the advanced strategy. Vienna is the European capital of classical music and receives tourists all year round. Hotels in the historic center sell out months in advance, especially in summer and Christmas weeks. That is why we really like using this site we indicated. In addition to having the lowest prices, it has free cancellation with almost all hotels. You can book as soon as possible to guarantee a much lower price, and if you need to cancel later due to any change of plans, it is super easy and at no cost. And remembering that in this link below, we always organize everything you need to set up your entire trip for the lowest price on a single page. The sites we use to build our trips, and that have everything much cheaper, such as international virtual cell phone chip to have internet on the street, travel insurance with discount, which is mandatory in Europe, tickets for imperial palaces and concerts, good and cheap hotels we have already stayed at, and the global account to carry dollars paying lower fees. Save this page in your favorites. Now let us get to the main attractions with details you cannot miss. Attraction number 1 is Schönbrunn Palace. It was the former summer residence of the imperial family. It is a gigantic yellow complex with perfectly designed gardens. Take the tour of the luxurious rooms and walk to the top of the hill to visit the Gloriette, a viewpoint with Roman columns and an unforgettable view of all of Vienna. Attraction number 2 is the Hofburg Imperial Palace. It is right in the city center and was the winter residence. Inside you will find the former imperial apartments, the museum dedicated to the famous Empress Sissi, and the wonderful Austrian National Library, which has wooden corridors and marble statues that look like a movie set. Attraction number 3 is St. Stephen Cathedral. It is in the heart of the central square. It is an impressive Gothic church famous for its roof decorated with thousands of colorful tiles that form the design of a giant eagle. Climb the over 300 steps of the tower for an incredible view of the city. Attraction number 4 is Belvedere Palace. They are 2 Baroque palaces connected by a beautiful garden with fountains and cascades. The site houses a fabulous art museum where the original painting of the Kiss is located, the masterpiece of Austrian artist Gustav Klimt, which is full of real gold leaves. Attraction number 5 is the Vienna State Opera. It is one of the most prestigious and beautiful opera houses in the world. Even if you do not want to watch an entire show, take the guided tour during the day to admire the luxurious architecture of staircases and giant crystal chandeliers. Attraction number 6 is the Prater. It is a huge public park that houses a traditional amusement park. Entrance to the site is free, and you pay only for the rides. The star of the park is the historic iron Ferris wheel, built in the 19th century with red wooden cabins that are the great symbol of the city. Attraction number 7 is the Museum Quarter. It is an immense cultural complex that mixes old and modern buildings. In the central courtyard, there are giant, colorful sofas where people lie down to relax. Visit the Leopold Museum to see masterpieces, and then go to the neighboring Albertina Museum. An important tip that will save you time and money is to buy tickets for paid attractions and museum passes in advance. The line for the Summer Palace can take hours on weekends, and tickets sell out fast. We will leave in the screen code and in the description the link to the site where we always buy tickets and tours for the lowest price and with skip the line very easily. Now let us move on to gastronomy. In Vienna, the food is very elegant and full of centuries-old traditions. You have the obligation to experience the Viennese cafe culture. It is not just having a quick coffee at the counter, it is sitting reading the newspaper and not rushing. Order a melange, which is the traditional frothy milk coffee, and taste the Sackertorte, the famous dense chocolate cake with apricot jam, invented in the luxury hotel of the same name. Café Central is the most beautiful and sumptuous of all. The classic dish number 1 is the famous breaded veal cutlet. It is meat pounded until super thin breaded and fried in clarified butter. The dish is usually gigantic, falling off the edges, and is served with potato salad with a touch of vinegar. The Figelmüller restaurant is the most traditional to taste this delight. Also try the Tafelspitz. It is very tender beef, slowly cooked in broth with vegetables served with horseradish and applesauce. It was simply the Emperor's favorite dish and melts in your mouth. To end the day with sweetness, the Apfelstrudel is the perfect choice. A very thin puff pastry filled with apples, raisins, and cinnamon, served very hot with a pool of vanilla cream around it. Quick and in-depth shopping tips. The pedestrian street Kärntnerstrasse and the Graben form the heart of luxury shopping in Vienna. There you will find all the large department stores and global brands on wide and beautiful streets. Austria is the birthplace of the Swarovski brand. Their main store in the center of Vienna is dazzling and has immense and exclusive collections. For cheap gifts, buy the traditional Mozart balls, round sweets made of pistachio marzipan covered with dark chocolate, which they sell in any corner market for an excellent price. What to do at night? Nightlife is very focused on culture and refined gastronomy. Watching a classical music concert in the numerous churches and palaces of the city is the main program. Musicians dressed in period clothing play Mozart and Strauss every night. For those looking for something more modern, the Danube River Canal in summer is packed with outdoor bars, electronic music, and people sitting in lounge chairs with colorful lights reflecting in the water. The neighborhood known as the Bermuda Triangle in the historic center concentrates the narrow streets with the liveliest pubs and bars to drink beer until late at night. And if you are traveling with kids, Vienna is fantastic for families. The Schönbrunn Zoo is the oldest continuously operating zoo in the world and has been voted the best in Europe several times. Kids will love seeing the giant panda bears up close. The Museum of Natural History is gigantic and impresses with an impeccable collection of dinosaur skeletons and precious stones that glow in the dark. Mandatory documentation for international tourists and safety. Safety Vienna is considered one of the safest cities in the world. Violent crimes are extremely rare. In the most touristy areas like the cathedral or the main squares, the only care is with pickpockets amidst the crowds or at busy intersections. Other than that, you walk the streets at dawn with the absolute tranquility. Visa. Most Western citizens do not need a visa for tourism for up to 90 days, but always need a valid passport. Soon, Europe will require the electronic travel authorization, so follow the rules. Travel insurance. Travel insurance is mandatory by law to enter the Schengen area and must have a minimum coverage of 30,000 euros. Immigration is known to ask for the printed document to prove it. The cost of a private doctor or hospitals for those who do not live there is very high. We never travel without it. And in the link in the description, there is the comparator we always use to find the cheapest and to combine your trip. Vienna has an incredibly strategic geographical location. In just an hour by boat sailing on the Danube River or by train, you arrive in Bratislava, the friendly capital of Slovakia. Taking a fast train in just over 2.5 hours, you land in Budapest, the beautiful and cheap capital of Hungary. If you prefer to go west, a train takes you in 2.5 hours straight to the mountains of Salzburg, Mozart as hometown, crossing beautiful alpine scenery. If you liked this complete and deep guide about Vienna, like the video and subscribe to our channel to travel more and better around the world. Thank you very much and have a safe trip.